That was Jada S with Call You Snitch right here on 88.99 on WERS. 12 for 12. The creators are in the building. Say what's up, fellas.
Yeah. What up, Tim?
Gills.
Blair, Lineham.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Chilling, man.
Chilling, man. Beautiful day outside.
Definitely. So, we're not going to waste no time, right? I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves individually, starting with Blair. Go ahead. Tell them, tell the people who you are and what your part in the 12 for 12 movement.
My name is Blair. I'm a student at Boston University studying entrepreneurship. I write for the Collab Project, which Guillermo Antonini started. I started in the winter and just really tried to get involved and saw a scene that had so much talent and really wanted to get involved with these guys who had a plan. So that's what I've been on right now.
Okay. Next, I'm going to go to Guillermo.
All right.
We're going to say
Yeah, hell yeah. I think that's a great order right there. So, Boston University student hospitality. Fell in love with this music thing. I really fell in love with hip-hop once I got up here because I had so much time to start a blog and really just start learning really about mainstream, underground, all these kind of things, all the elements of it and all the beauty behind it. And then started BU Hip-Hop, Boston University Hip-Hop, just a family of Boston University students sharing music to each other, and that's how I met these guys. And then Tim came up to me one day with a great idea. Great idea. And it's just taken off from there. So now I think Tim can have the introduction.
Yeah, so I go to BU as well. I'm going to be a senior. I'm studying communications. Basically, I started this blog called The Fresh Air last summer. I was home. I was bored. I've always loved hip-hop. It's always been a big part of my life. First 2 years I was at BU, it was like I'd go to all the big shows. I knew there was a Boston scene. I'd heard of guys like Slain Term, guys like that, but I didn't really know anybody else. I didn't know what existed. And it took, this fall, it took me having my own blog to really realize that there's a lot of talented artists here. And I met this kid, Dino. I always say it started with him. I met him randomly at some concert, and he was like, I spit. I'm about to go to this cypher at Laced. Why don't you come down with me? So I filmed him. I was like, man, this kid can spit. How come I've never heard this kid's name before? He introduced me to Big D, a couple other local artists. All of a sudden, I'm like, man, something needs to be done for these cats because there's a lot of talented artists here doing their thing, and there's no platforms for them. There's no way for them to get their voice, their voice heard. So I kind of had this idea, like a freshman project. It kind of at first it was modeled after Double XL. It was like, let me just get a bunch of these young, unheard of artists together and make something happen with them. But then as I got deeper into the scene, I realized just how many levels of artists there are here. It's like, everybody's got their own circle, everybody's doing their own thing. Some of these artists don't even know other artists exist, which is interesting. People think they're well known in Boston. The reality is it's just within their circle. So it was like, let's just get a bunch of dope artists together and let's make something happen with them.
That's dope. So what do you think? What was your moment like that you really realized that you had something special?
With 12 for 12?
Yeah.
I think it was the meeting stage because a lot of people, they looked at 12 for 12, they saw the first cypher and they were like, these guys just got a bunch of their rap friends together and had a cypher, filmed it. But it was a lot deeper than that. We started this in January. I met these guys in like October. It wasn't long before that I even got to know them. And in January we got down. For a couple months straight we had listening sessions. We would go to one of our cribs and go through YouTube videos, go through mixtapes, and figure out. We found out a bunch of artists that we thought were really unique. So after that, it was like, all right, we're gonna sit down with these artists individually because we want them to take this as seriously as we are. Because we're trying to put together a project that's gonna have a huge ripple effect outside of Boston, whatever. So let's meet with all of them individually. Let's send out an official email with like a press release to their managers. Let's have a bunch of these sit-down meetings. So we met with everybody individually, and I think it was like the second or third meeting that all of a sudden we were like, man, people are seeing this. People need this. Because at first it was like, are people going to see what we're seeing? Are we just a bunch of college kids that are hip hop fans that want to create the scene? But no, it was like we're talking to these people and they're feeling the same things we are, that they're dying to have something here. There's got to be something more. So I think it was at that stage that I was like, you know what? This isn't just three of us that are coming together. This is, people believe in this. People want this to happen.
And that meeting stage gave us such an understanding because it's like we're getting their perspective mixed with our perspective, just building with each other. And then a beautiful thing was like, they all knew 2 or 3 of the artists on the list. They all knew 2 or 3. Nobody knew more than 4 people on the list.
Which is crazy.
So like 4 was the max.
Wow.
So it was just like, you're traveling in your own circles. Now it's just a matter of, one thing I've always said is, worst case, this thing fails horribly.
And right,
like we united 12 rappers.
Right.
At that point, it's outside of our hands. But like now it's up to you guys. You guys know each other very well. You've united as a family, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's continue to build. Let's continue to really push for the city, so that when that one person makes it, Boston gets put on the map, and it's just everybody continues to grow with each other.
No, definitely. So you say you came here. Where'd you come from?
Miami.
Okay, you came from Miami.
I'm from Miami.
And what was you listening to before?
Mainstream music, man. Just mainstream. When the blog started, it was like I was going crazy over like Wiz Khalifa's newest music, and then it was just like
wait till the nice people outside one time. Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, then I started realizing like I'm just wasting my time posting music that there's a million other people in the world posting about right now, as opposed to these guys who are investing their time creating music that I love listening to, but unfortunately a million other people aren't listening to in the world right now. So that's when my perspective shift completely between, do I want to be a music blogger, or do I want to be somebody that really just builds with people? And that's how all this is coming together. Like BU hip hop for me, that was huge, because it was just, I started with 25 of my friends on a Facebook group, and now I have some of my best friends, and we've created connections like the Criminals in the Building, Malcolm. It all started for me. It all started in BU hip hop, just adding 25 of my friends to Facebook group and saying, let's share music videos with each other.
And you weren't even like you say you weren't even a big hip hop fan until you came here, and then you started the club, right? And then it just blew up. Now you're in the midst of this firestorm of creativity, talent.
You got to start something.
It's positive energy
somewhere.
Right. It's definitely. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get into some music, gangsta.